Shalom, call Elohim, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachak, Kodash, and Shanyakubad, Kadwala Rekwab, Zakwanyam Nawa, Wa, Shalayakim Nawa. That's double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, Wa Barakim, Labakaryam, Shalayasharala. That's peace and blessings to the elect of Israel. I wanted to make this quick video just showing more prophecy that's happening around the globe, as the scriptures talk about how there will be, basically we'll call it civil unrest in various places. And I just made a video, and I think it was London, and there was about 500,000 people protesting. Well, now you have over here in Paris, there's over 1 million people, and they've been protesting for, I believe, at least 2 weeks now. It's been non-stop every single day protesting. And we're going to watch this quick video, and we're going to learn why. And this is just one of the reasons. So as you can see, it says the streets of Paris are overflowing with garbage and the city literally stinks. So we'll watch this video, let this person speak, and we'll grab maybe 2 or 3 or 2 other videos and just jump into some prophecy. And this is one of those type of videos where, hey, it's nothing new. We know these things are happening, but it's a faith builder. And so seeing it playing out in these end days, it builds up our faith. It excites us, and we know that we're that much closer to the end.
Are overflowing with garbage, and the city literally stinks. More than 6,600 tons of trash have piled up after rubbish collectors in the French capital went on strike on March 6 to protest the government's unpopular retirement reforms. Unsurprisingly, the shoulder-high piles of rubbish smell terrible. People are also growing increasingly concerned about millions of rats feasting on overflowing bins. The sanitation workers joined nationwide action against a contentious bill that would raise the retirement age from 62 to 64 and increase contributions for a full pension. They're also demanding higher wages. Half of Paris's districts have been affected by the strike, and 3 waste treatment sites have been blockaded. In addition to garbage collectors, underground sewer workers and street cleaners have also staged walkouts. The streets of Paris...
So yeah, basically the people of Paris are protesting because their government just raised the retirement age from 62 to 64. And like she said, they're also protesting because they want better work wages. And so the people of this world are just tired of those ruling. That's all it's coming down to. At the end of the day, they're sick and tired of the people that are in power right now. And they don't even know it. But what they're yearning for is for the true people of the Bible to be set up. They're yearning for Yahushai to be ruling, for righteousness to be reigning here on earth. And they don't even know that. But you see, we know that. We know what they're really feeling in their spirit. And that's why we bring out these prophecies, man. It's exciting times that we're living in. You know, so much is going on. This is just one area where this is happening. Let's grab this real quick. It says France yesterday. The police seem intent on just creating more chaos. What is the purpose of charging the crowd and randomly beating anyone within reach? Look. This is what's going on over there in France. To this day, right now, this moment. Yeah, man, just basically civil unrest. You You got people protesting because they just want better rights. They want to just truly live life, right? They want peace. They want better work wages, everything. And look, this is what happens. Got the police out there beating their asses. And I have one of those batons. I was actually given one of these exact batons. It's in my car with me right now as I make this video, just because that's where I keep it. I don't have nowhere else to put it, right? Them things are hard. They are hard. But I'm telling you, it doesn't even take a super strong person to swing it, and you can break somebody's bones with that thing, man. I mean, they beating people with that joint. Let's watch this last video just so we can kind of get some more visuals in terms of what's happening over there. I'm gonna just skip past this dude talking, showing more trash. I'm gonna go to right here, 43 seconds, just so we can see. We already know what's happening, so we don't need to hear anything, but just some more visuals.
There, it's still smoldering, and there were new protests overnight in cities across the country, people clashing with police and also setting fires in a number of cities. We have heard from authorities that more than 450 demonstrators were arrested overnight nationwide, and that according to authorities, more than 400 officers were injured in the midst of these violent protests. Now, people here are angry. They are upset about President Emmanuel Macron's plan that will raise the minimum retirement age from 62 to 64. He says it is to protect the entire pension system, but people are so upset about the fact that he's implemented this plan and that also it was pushed through without a full vote in Parliament. So this is tension that has been building now for months. Workers and unions have been calling for protests and demonstrations every single day. And Lindsay, those demonstrations are expected to continue throughout the weekend.
Yep, and they are. As you can see, this video was just put up on YouTube 12 hours ago. Look how many followers they got. 4.44 million, 444. But yeah, man, that's what's going on. And this is obviously biblical prophecy. And that's why we bring this out. And, really all I have to do is bring this out right here. This is 2 Esdras 15, verse 14. This is an end-time prophecy, and this is quickly, the time that we're approaching. Right now, we're just in the beginning of all of these things, the beginning of sorrows. But you see, everything that we're bringing out is what we're leading up to. Like I said, let me see. What was the video I made? 500,000 workers strike in London. I made that almost a week ago. And now you see this happening in Paris, right? And it's going to be more places too. So 2 Esdras 15 verse 14 says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands," meaning guns. "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes." We're already seeing part of that right now. Not regarding your kings or princes represent the people not regarding those in power over them, aka your government. So it says, "They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions," meaning what they desire, "shall stand in their power," meaning they're going to accomplish it. And it's partly what we're seeing right now. People out here protesting, not working. The city is filled with trash. It stinks. Right? They're demanding better pay. And that's what they're out there protesting for. So standing up against their government. And in the eyes of the government, they look at that as sedition. That's why they out there beating them. Verse 17 says, "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able." It's going to be sectioned off, quarantined. "For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid." And so we bring this out and say, hey, yeah, it's happening over there in London. Yeah, it's happening over there in Paris. But soon it's going to happen over here in Babylon the Great, which is America. And so we bring it out to say, look, it's not far-fetched. If it can happen over there, it can happen over here. America ain't nothing special. And I should have left it open and went to the comments like I did in that video talking about the protests in London, because in that video it showed how people were like, USA, let's do it. Let's learn from it. You know, we support our brothers and sisters over there in London. I bet you they were saying the same thing about that video we just watched. I bet you people were like, US, we need to do what they're doing in Paris. You see, once things get just a little bit worse, you're going to see protests like this here in Babylon the Great. You'll see it. Millions of people protesting, not working, and all manner of wickedness and evil happening. It'll happen. Verse 19 says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And so these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 scriptures right here give a great picture of what the Bible calls Jacob's trouble. And I'll read that precept because I haven't read it in a while. This is Jeremiah 30, verses 5 through 7. For thus saith the Lord, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Let's go back. 2nd Esdras 15 and 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Key word. Jumping back to Jeremiah 30 verse 5. For thus saith the Lord, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness, for confusion, for shame, for being afraid. That's what this is talking about. Not knowing what's going on, not having no answers, not knowing what to do. Alas, verse 7 says, for that day is great, so that none is like it. That day representing that time. Because we don't know how long Jacob's trouble is going to last. I mean, just to keep it all the way real with you, if the Lord wanted Jacob's trouble to be a week, it'll be a week. If he wanted Jacob's trouble to last for a year, it'll last for a year. Hell, it can last longer if he wanted to. So that day is referring to that time. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, meaning the Israelites. But he shall be saved out of it. He represents the elect. Elect men, women, and children. Because only 1/3 of our people are going to make it here in Babylon. And then, of course, the rest of the elect scattered across the globe, wherever the Lord has them. But Jacob's trouble is coming. We're just in the beginning of all these things right now, and we'll end off with this precept right here. Won't make this video too long. Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil, meaning the man that's a deceiver on the earth, the man that went through the entire world spreading nothing but lies, wickedness, and of course deception. That's Esau, Edom, the man that's ruling, so-called white man. He is known as the devil. This is describing this man. It says, the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time, meaning a short time to continue ruling. So he's going to come down hard. He's going to come down hard. And what we're telling you is that's especially going to happen here in Babylon. A lot of people don't think that's the case because nothing like this has ever really went down in Babylon. But that's because, you see, America ain't really experienced, well, they haven't, a war. They haven't experienced famine. They haven't experienced, like, well, some protests, but not to the large scale that is going to happen. Like, I'm talking about millions of people, earthquakes just shattering whole states. But that's going to happen over here. It's all prophecy. And we bring this out to say, look, spiritually prepare yourself. Increase your faith. Get right now with the Lord. Not when Jacob's trouble happens, before it happens. And these are the warnings. So I pray that this was edifying to the elect. Call Halayim Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rachak Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.